Hey everybody, it's John with Vermont Homesteader, and I'm here to talk to you about the election. And the most important thing about the election tomorrow is that you go out and vote. It's one of the most important rights ingrained in our Constitution. It's one of the most important rights as a citizen of this country that you go out and vote. Vote for the person that best represents your values and your needs as a citizen of this state. And you're not voting for who's going to rule over us. You're voting for who's going to represent us. Who's going to be the person that represents the United States of America best. And I think from some of my other videos, if you've watched them, you know who that is for me. That's Donald Trump. And I've voted for him. This will be the third time now that I voted for him. I already early voted here in Vermont. We got the kitty cat today. Down, Miss Nora. Yeah, so Donald Trump is who I voted for in early voting. Early voting has been going on for a while here in Vermont. And I decided to early vote this year instead of the day of election because I didn't know if I was going to be here or not. I thought I might be in New Jersey hunting. It turns out I will be here, but that's fine. My vote's cast, and I know who I put it in for, and I hope he wins. And even if you don't agree with me, whoever you want to vote for, go vote. It's one of the most important things you can do as a citizen of the United States of America. It's so foundational that we have a voice, the people have a voice in who represents us. And it's sad that only about half of this country votes. And I know some of the people in the country can't vote, those under 18. But about half of those who can vote do vote. And that's sad. So get out and vote tomorrow. For closing arguments, I'm going to tell you why I voted for Donald Trump. I know there's a lot of stuff that revolves around him, and people have lots of difference of opinions about him, but I don't vote based on a person's persona. I could care less about a person's persona. I just happen to understand him. I grew up in northern New Jersey, and New Jerseyans are not much different than New Yorkers. We are a little, but not a lot. And so I understand his gruffness, I understand his directness, I understand his bombacity. He's a New Yorker, and New Yorkers are tough to digest sometimes. But I don't vote based on that. I vote based on, we had one of the lowest inflation rates ever in this country when he was the president. We had the highest employment rates, or the lowest unemployment rate, however you'd like to talk about it, among many demographics in this country, the lowest unemployment rates ever for several demographics in this country. Gasoline was $2 a gallon. Sometimes it was a little under $2 a gallon. Sometimes it was a little over. I think when he left office, it was about $2.20, $2.25 national average. But it was about $2 a gallon for most of his presidency. He got the Abraham Accords signed. There was actually peace in the Middle East, unlike today. He did not start any foreign wars. Putin did not invade Ukraine until Trump was out of office and Biden was in office. He was basically just waiting, and he took advantage of Biden immediately. Immigration was way down, some of the lowest points of illegal immigration in the U.S.'s history. And then Biden came into office with Harris, and they just opened the floodgates. And she tries to distance herself from being the border czar, but he did name her the border czar. And she didn't visit the southern border until she was running for office. How ridiculous is that? 3.5 years, never visits the border. And then she's going to run for president, and all of a sudden, yeah, let's go visit the border. And then she didn't even visit a high crossing area. So her policies with his, because he said she worked hand in hand with him. Biden said it, worked hand in hand with him and was aware of anything that he did and was part of the team and had decision making in the team. So therefore, all this bad policy of printing money, doing stimulus, which caused our inflation, not securing the border, not ensuring safety in our communities, violent crime is through the roof. The FBI revised their statistics after Trump pushed them on it, and they said, well, yeah, violent crime is up like 5 to 7% across the country. And that's probably at a minimum, because I'm here to tell you, law enforcement is not reporting statistics as they should be. They're reporting them as lesser crimes than what they really are. Not everywhere, but in a lot of places, especially the big cities. So the crime rate is even higher than that. So these are the reasons why I'm going to vote for Trump. Biden and Harris, Kamala Harris had 3.5 years to do all the things that she said she wants to do when she becomes president. She didn't do them. They had a very leftist, woke agenda, a very progressive agenda, and they implemented it. And I don't expect that to change with her if she was to become the president of the United States. I also don't expect it to change in the Middle East or in Ukraine. I do expect that Trump will have an impact on the Middle East and will have an impact on Ukraine, will have an impact on Iran. When Trump was president, Iran was bankrupt. He bankrupted them through tariffs and through he bankrupted them. And they did not have the money to finance terrorists or to start wars or to buy weaponry or to create weaponry. So I expect he's going to do that again. And that's going to shut that conflict down pretty quick. He's going to do the same thing with the Russians. He's going to use world economics to create peace, which is what he did last time. And I think probably everybody thought he might do something very aggressive if they went against him. And I don't know if he would or not, but carrying a big stick in the world is a good thing. Letting people know that you're the most powerful military, the biggest economy, and you'll use it if they get out of line or if they attack the United States or attack any of our friend countries. It tends to keep people in line. So, and then they don't invade other countries and they don't start wars with other people because they don't want to face the threat of the United States of America. And that's a good thing because it kept peace. We had 4 years of peace. He was slowly drawing troops out of Afghanistan. He actually had a methodical plan other than the ones Biden and Harris executed, which was a frenzy of activity and a quick withdrawal, which left a vacuum that the Taliban ate right up and took over the country again. The very Taliban that we went after when we first went there, we left them with the country. It's like, why did we even go? Biden-Harris has been a disaster for this country. It has also been a disaster for the world. Some of you will say, well, gas prices are coming down. You know, they're $3.09 here in Randolph, Vermont, and they're $2.75 in New Jersey. Well, that's occurring because President Biden and Kamala Harris have been selling off our strategic reserves to keep the price down a little bit instead of at $4 a gallon. They're playing politics with the strategic oil reserves. That is a horrible thing to do. Trump now needs to figure out a way to drop the price of oil and then refill our strategic petroleum reserves. And I think he can do it. I think he's going to drill, like he said, drill, baby, drill. He understands that fuel is the key to everything. It's the key to not only lower gas prices, lower heating costs, but it's also the key to lower transportation costs, trucking, shipping in boats, planes, rail cars, and tractor trailers. If you have low fuel, it costs less to move products. That therefore drops the price of the products by the time they get to us. And he knows this. So he understands that the key to everything is energy. And energy independence and prolific energy brings the price down and everybody benefits. He's also talked about, lots of people say he's given tax cuts to his billionaire friends. Well, he did. He also gave tax cuts to all of us too. He gave tax cuts across the board. Cat number 2 visiting. Come here, Nova. And he says he's going to do it again. He's talking about bringing the income tax down to 15%, which would benefit me greatly because I'm at whatever it is, 22, 23%, whatever that income tax bracket is. So I'd love to go down to 15%. He also said if the tariffs were good enough, he'd just do away with the income tax. I'd love that. That's a pay increase for everybody in America. When he reduces taxes, it's a pay increase for us. So yeah, he also talks about doing away with Social Security tax federally. When you get your Social Security check, you don't have to pay income tax on it federally. And there's lots of southern states right now where you don't have to pay income tax on it in a state. Here in Vermont, you do. Here in Vermont, you got to pay tax to the feds and the state. A place like Alabama or Tennessee or I think Florida, Georgia, you don't pay income tax on Social Security income. And if he does away with the federal income tax on Social Security, seniors will get the full amount of their Social Security checks. And how important would that be for seniors today? She doesn't have these types of plans. Her plans are joy, and she has an economic program, but never describes it. I guess on her website she has it down on paper, but she doesn't ever talk about it. So is that just a campaign gimmick, or does she really understand how to run the economy? I don't think she understands how to run the economy. I think that's something that somebody wrote for her. They put it on her campaign website, and everybody goes, "Oh, go look." But she doesn't really understand it. She's going to get other people to do that. And I don't think they're going to do it as good as Trump did it. I mean, really, it boils down to, are you better off today than you were 4 years ago? And you're not. I'm not. I don't have the money I did 4 years ago. I did during the Trump administration, though. It seemed like I was rolling in cash. I could buy all kinds of stuff, or save money, or invest it. You could do all kinds of different things, and now people can't. People are living off their credit cards for everyday things and groceries today. People are living paycheck to paycheck, and they didn't used to before. So that's why I'm voting for Donald Trump. And, you don't have to vote like I do, obviously. You can vote however you want. Vote by your conscience, whatever your conscience tells you. And for me, that's Donald Trump. And in the end, again, just go out and vote. Whether it's Donald Trump or Kamala Harris or Jill Stein or whoever else, there's a whole list of people you can vote for, all kinds of different parties. Go vote. It's the most important thing you'll do. It's more important than even your freedom of speech or your Second Amendment rights. It's the power to vote and to decide who's going to represent us for the next 4 years, as well as all the down ballots, senators, congresspeople, governors. So do your part, people. Go out and hopefully will cast more votes than have ever been cast before in U.S. history. And we'll see how it turns out. Thanks for listening. If you like this video and others like it, like, subscribe, and share. And we'll see you next time. Vermont Homesteader.